Now, I know you might be watching this video thinking that I'm going to be hating on AEW, and quite honestly, it's going to be the opposite. I know I've been critical of AEW in the past, but I felt like this video was definitely needed because I think I have a very interesting take, and I'm just going to flat out say it. AEW doesn't need Daniel Bryan. My name is Ango. This is Destination Pro Wrestling. It's a YouTube channel where I talk about the latest happening in the world of pro wrestling, and I give you guys my take. Sometimes you guys like it, sometimes you guys dislike it, and that's okay with me. The most important thing is that you guys are engaged, and the best way to do that is by dropping a comment down below. Let me know if you guys agree. Let me know if you guys disagree. Either way, I'm all about entertaining a serious conversation. Now, I'm not trolling when I say that AEW doesn't need Daniel Bryan. And it's really funny saying that because Daniel Bryan has arguably been the biggest babyface in the last several years in the world of professional wrestling. So why do I think Daniel Bryan shouldn't go to AEW? Well, we're going to talk about it. If you guys want to support this channel, go ahead and check out all the links in the description. We've launched a Discord server. It's entirely free. You guys could come chat with other pro wrestling fans who are really interested in pro wrestling, and it's actually really awesome. If it's like a very cool family atmosphere, and I highly recommend that you guys join the Discord because it's a really cool place to talk wrestling. Everybody gets along. And on top of that, we've launched a new website, destinationpw.com. Just in case YouTube doesn't notify you guys of my videos on this website, you guys can get all of my uploads and podcasts. That's right, we're launching a podcast very soon, but that's also going to be on the website. And of course, we launched Shop DPW. So if you guys want to support the channel, it's definitely appreciated if you guys buy some merchandise. And I got some new designs and new things rolling out this month as well. So destinationpw.com is the best place to get all that information. And of course, if you guys want to join the channel, that's really easy. Go ahead and click the link in the description. By joining this channel, you are monetarily supporting this channel and the growth of this channel. We're going to go from the bedroom to a multi-million-dollar film studio, maybe just one day with your help. Now, of course, with all the plugs out of the way, we got to talk about Daniel Bryan and AEW. Historically on this channel, I always talk about why ratings don't matter. And of course, Daniel Bryan's a massive name in the world of pro wrestling. But what's really interesting is every time AEW continues to announce a new person signed to their company, it's not always the best. What I mean by this is specifically looking at the ratings. When you look at the ratings and you see that AEW has brought in Christian, Sting, Chris Jericho, Jon Moxley, these names are pretty notable. But one thing that's very interesting is statistically, ratings are a lot better with somebody like Darby Allin on the screen. In fact, I would go on to say that Darby Allin is more than likely going to be one of the biggest names in pro wrestling within 5 years. I know a lot of times people talk about MJF, and it is very clear that AEW has done a really good job positioning these lesser known talents. But of course, when you talk about MJF, Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin is also in the mix. And that's exactly why AEW doesn't need Daniel Bryan. AEW has done a really good job of utilizing these lesser known talents and creating stars out of them. That's right. I'm literally saying that AEW knows how to create stars. It is happening. It is happening when you look at the ratings. See, the reason why I think ratings don't typically matter is because typically ratings don't really tell you that much. But in this situation, it says a lot. There are more people watching AEW when guys like Darby Allin are wrestling. And I know what you're thinking. How is that possible? Well, AEW has created a very strong fan base that is interested in watching a WWE alternative. And if you look online, there are a lot of people critical of AEW when they sign former WWE talent. I'm actually very supportive of the idea of AEW signing former WWE talent. I've said this several times. I think it's a very necessary move. But AEW has already done enough of that. So yes, you might argue that Daniel Bryan will bring a lot of mainstream attention to AEW. You might even argue that Daniel Bryan is going to get a lot of people talking. It's going to be trending, right? Daniel Bryan, Kenny Omega, a dream match. This is definitely a move that makes sense from a PR standpoint, but it doesn't really make sense with the way AEW has positioned. In fact, we're going to use an example from last week's Dynamite episode of Blood and Guts. If you guys didn't know, on Blood and Guts, they announced a very interesting match for Double or Nothing. It's going to be either Orange Cassidy or Pac versus Kenny Omega for the AEW World Championship. Now, this was made very clear because of the AEW ranking system. Somebody like Daniel Bryan going immediately into AEW would have to be pushed full throttle into the main event. The problem is, with the way AEW is structured, the win-loss record means absolutely everything. And this is why Christian wasn't granted the World Championship match. I think we can all agree that Christian is more than worthy enough for this world title opportunity. But instead, when you look at the official ranking system AEW has in place, Orange Cassidy and Pac are going to fight it out on Dynamite, and the winner will go on to face Kenny Omega for the World Championship. Now imagine this. AEW makes the historic announcement of them signing Daniel Bryan, only for Daniel Bryan to be put into a squash match, or a quick match with somebody like Peter Avalon. Now, I have no hate towards Peter Avalon, but when you compare the two names, obviously Daniel Bryan's name has a lot of volume to it. AEW's program doesn't need Daniel Bryan because statistically, they are doing really well during some of the most important matches in the company that don't involve Chris Jericho, Jon Moxley, or Christian. And that is exactly why I think Daniel Bryan should go back to WWE. I'm a huge fan. If I saw Daniel Bryan in AEW, I would tune in. I would be very happy to see that happen because, of course, as a pro wrestling fan, there are a lot of sweet dream matches that can happen. But you got to remember, AEW is in a whole different scenario than WWE. AEW is trying to be the alternative product to WWE. Daniel Bryan's name has a lot of people. Like, a lot of people know Daniel Bryan, right? Like, there's a lot of value to that name. It's a valuable name in the world of pro wrestling. And of course, because of Total Bellas, it continues to be a big name outside of wrestling. But you got to remember, Daniel Bryan going to AEW would be really good for about a month. But after that, it's not really going to matter. Just like it doesn't matter right now. I personally think Chris Jericho is at the best in his career. But you can remove Chris Jericho from AEW, and it's still going to be a good product. This is because AEW is positioning for the younger guys to be a very important asset to the company. So again, this is not me trolling. This is not me hating AEW. This is me simply telling you guys that AEW is doing just fine the way that they're handling the lesser known talent. It's apparent when Darby Allin has a match and it has over 1 million viewers, that's really damn sweet. Especially to the casual audience who doesn't know Darby Allin, that's a big deal. Daniel Bryan would immediately boost the ratings. But everything else about AEW would be the opposite of what they are. And that's my big thing here. AEW has done a really good job of presenting new stars. Having a former WWE name is just very much like what TNA did when WWE was in competition with them. It's also the same thing that happened with WCW and WWE. Signing the major competitor's top name pretty much disregards everything else going on for the company. I think what's going to actually end up happening with AEW is that they're going to create stars far larger than Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is towards the end of his career. We already know that he does not have any interest in being in a backstage capacity with any wrestling company. And we also know, according to multiple reports, that Daniel Bryan has no interest in being a full-time wrestler again. So yes, as a fan of pro wrestling, Daniel Bryan going to AEW would be sick. But no, I don't think it's necessary, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing that this soon in the creation of AEW, they don't need Daniel Bryan. They don't need Brock Lesnar. They don't need CM Punk. That is why wins and losses matter in AEW. This is why people are being given opportunities based on their win-loss record. Guys, I'm a huge fan of Daniel Bryan. He should stay put in WWE. AEW needs to continue focusing on being the alternative product, and I think if they continue to do that, guys like Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, MJF, they're going to be really big for this company. They're going to catapult AEW into major success. And it's all going to be perfect for AEW because they've truly stuck to being an alternative to WWE. Now, of course, as time goes on, only time will tell. Yes, AEW has the money and resources to sign Daniel Bryan. WWE has more. And WWE is going to give Daniel Bryan exactly what he wants. So, if I'm Daniel Bryan, I stay put. Work a limited schedule, get the Brock Lesnar money, and do your own thing. Go hang out with your family, go do your own thing. I've also mentioned as a bonus in this video, I want to mention this. I am all for WWE allowing Daniel Bryan to have a retirement tour. Something I don't think that's ever been done. But if WWE wants to have a open door policy with other companies because it's best for business, a little suggestion I have. WWE, have Daniel Bryan wrestle his dream match opponents outside of WWE only for him to finish his career in WWE. That's right, a contract that allows Daniel Bryan to have a match at New Japan, Ring of Honor, Impact, AEW, and wherever else he pleases. I know, it's probably far-fetched, but hey, you can have him end up in WWE, and it only makes WWE look even better. All right, guys, my name is Ango. This is Destination Pro Wrestling. I'm super interested to hear what you guys think. If you guys agree, disagree, let me know. And if you guys want to support the channel, all the links are in the description. I'll see you guys next time.